Hello and welcome to the Clint Initiative podcast. What is the Clint Initiative? The Clint Initiative is a multi-phase project to create entertainment here in Minnesota and to distribute that entertainment to the world, starting with this podcast. This podcast is the seed from which everything else will grow. The Clint Initiative is about great music. The Clint Initiative is about great live entertainment. The Clint Initiative is about a sketch show. The Clint Initiative is all about filmed content. If you want to know how to do a podcast, listen to the Clint Initiative. If you want to know how to do an album, how to find musicians, how to get it recorded, listen to the Clint Initiative. If you want to know how to create more content over a short period of time, you're listening to the Clint Initiative and we will help you get there. If you are ready to create, if you're ready to talk about creating, if you're ready to be about it and get it done, we want to talk to you. This is the Clint Initiative. My name is Paul and my co-hosts are Katie, Clint, and Jamel. We are the Clint Initiative. If you are interested in creating content, if you're interested in creating movies, music, television, films, short films, and feature films, then we want to talk to you. We want to have you on the show. Email us at theclintpodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. And now, back to the show.
We are always working, give you a little more. We are always working, give you a little more. We are always working, give you a little more. We are always working, give you a little more. What are we doing? We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall. We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall. We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall to see what's stick. Come on, what are we doing? Sarala alaped, estamos sarala alaped, sarala alaped, estamos sarala alaped, sarala alaped, estamos sarala alaped, a ver que se pega. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clint Initiative podcast. It's great to be here on another Thursday, our 22nd week in the books. And it's good to see some of you out there watching us as we start the show. Clint is here and Clint will be back in a moment. So we're going to go ahead and start our co-host check-in. And Katie is not going to be able to make it today, but she did provide us with a message to the audience, and I want to go ahead and play that message to you all.
This is Katie. I am here dropping in. I could not make it today. I'm so sorry. I had an emergency come up with the family, but I hope that everybody is doing okay. I'm sending lots of love. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, doing everything that you can to support so we can support you as well. Para la gente de allá que me escuchan, perdón que no puedo estar ahí hoy día, pero ojalá se quedan con nosotros y vean todo el show hoy día. Mando mucho amor, besos y saludos. I'll be coming with another video soon. Thank you so much. Miss you guys.
Okay, hello Clint. How's it going, man?
I'm hanging in there.
Looks like it's mano a mano today, man. Just you and me.
That's not a monologue. That's a duo. Monologue is when you're all by yourself.
Mano a mano. You know mano a mano?
Okay.
Have you heard that before?
Mm-hmm.
Just the two of us, man. So what's your check-in for us today? What words do you have for our audience?
What words do I have for my audience is all things work for our good, no matter what the circumstances may be. We may go through certain things in our lives and so on. I just want to let you all know you're not alone. Many times we let the enemy or let the negative voices talk in our head and makes us feel like we are going through it alone, but you're not. Just letting you know there's someone who is in charge of writing your story. So you let them take the pen and take the lead of your life. Trust me, they're going to be a happy ending and a happy beginning. Love you all.
Absolutely fantastic. And I see that you have your cup of tea there as well, huh?
Oh yeah, this is my feel good tea. I almost didn't make it today because medications and all that, body aches, and I had such a stressful week last week. A close family member of mine passed away. It got me feeling really, really under the weather, and they buried in Trinidad just Monday was the funeral and so on. So we were really close. They were like, she was like a big sister, an aunt, and everything to me. I remember her. She's my big cousin that lives right across the street from me. And I remember her taking me to Sunday school. I learned so much about from her. She was like a role model. She taught me how to sing. I learned puppetry from her. She was a great inspiration for all the young people around the neighborhood, and she passed away so young. I just want to say that I know she's in a better place because her work is completed here on the earth. She was a beautiful soul. Love you, June Cooper. Mwah.
Okay, June Cooper, you will be missed. You know, my check-in for today is that no matter what is going on in life, we have to keep going. We have to keep moving forward. I think back to when I almost left this earth, and it was recently. I caught
Mm,
COVID. I almost died, and I realized that when my end comes on this earth, I'm not really leaving much behind. I have a daughter. I have, two daughters, but there's no kind of legacy that I'm leaving behind for them.
right.
And
I
that's
got you.
why it became important to me to be here and to jumpstart the Clint Initiative podcast and to work on the projects that we're working on so that I have something to leave behind, so that I have a legacy, not just for my family, but for the world, so that what we produce here will live on. And I've got
Hmm.
to tell you that these 22 weeks of doing the Clint Initiative podcast, along with the weeks that we did in 2023, it's a pathway. It has created somewhat of a legacy that will be there. And yes, when we produce our feature films, when we produce our sketch show, when we produce the things that we will produce, which is even easier now, thanks to the fact that we have our own space. And there's nothing better than having your own space. But Clint, do you know the only thing better than having your own space?
What? What is better than having your own space?
Having a mascot for our new space.
You deliberately get that dog because you know I love dog.
Well,
I sure
we
you.
have,
I sure you not. You don't know what breed of stuffed dog you got. I sure you don't even know.
well,
And
I
it's
know
one
that
of my
it's
favorite breeds too.
okay. I know that it's a stuffed dog, but I'm not the type to know names. So, what breed is our mascot?
Oh, that's an old English sheepdog.
An old English sheepdog.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, they
all of
use.
our
Look at the movie, the first movie, The Shaggy Dog.
oh yeah, I've seen those movies.
Right, the first
Now,
one, the old one. They used the old English sheepdog in that movie.
hey, I'm old enough when that movie was not old, so I definitely saw it more than a few times, especially on reruns on TV. So
I go for the
now
classics.
I want to tell our audience, go ahead and comment with what you think the name of our new mascot should be. When you have your offices in a prop house,
Hmm.
it makes it very easy. That's just one of the many props available at Props Metropolis. And
I'm gonna hold on to it for as long as I can because walking up the stairs and at the top of the stairs, the little shaggy dog is always sitting
Mm,
there, and that's a wonderful thing. Our space is coming along well,
nice.
and soon we will be broadcasting from our space. So I went there with Jamel yesterday, and we looked it over and made up some plans for building walls. You can't
Oh,
have a studio without walls, and my beer wall won't work, so we have to come up with another type of wall. Before we go on, I just want to go ahead and put this up here to let people know that things are moving in the right direction. None of this happens without you. So subscribe, like, comment, and share. Help us grow this dream
mm-hmm.
here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, because that's what it's all about. It's all about building this dream. And now I'm coming to the fun part, and that is our random questions. I got a couple of doozies for our random questions. I fall into YouTube wormholes all the time. It's rare that you will find me watching TV. So I fall into YouTube wormholes all the time.
I'm on
And
YouTube
these
all the time too.
I love those YouTube
It's
shorts, man. Watching
it's
those
addictive.
shorts, those shorts, what they do is they introduce me to shows that I haven't seen before. So that's one of the ways that we're going to introduce people to our productions, especially a lot of our productions that are on the Bible bracket. So here are the two questions. I hope you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
I don't condone violence of any kind, and this is no suggestion for anyone to perpetrate violence on anyone. But don't you just think that some people just need a good beat down? You just wanna, you don't want to do it. You would never do it. But you see the things they're doing, and you just say to yourself, man, if I looked at them right now on TV and someone gave them a good beat down, I wouldn't cheer it, but I wouldn't be shedding no tears. Okay, and then what's your favorite animated show? I mean, even as adults, there are some animated shows that just fit the bill. They're just shows that you watch them, and the more you watch them, the more you want to see them. So come on, Clint. Which one of those random questions are you going to answer first, or are you going to answer both of them?
I could talk on the two. I could talk on the two.
Okay,
Um,
go for it, man.
yeah, like what you're saying, you I don't condone violence, but yeah, but sometimes it depends on the situation. You gotta fight back. What I'm trying to say is, all right, God didn't make me a stupid person. If I see someone poking my little brother eyes out, that doesn't mean to say I'm gonna say, oh no, don't don't hit him. Jesus loves you. No, no, no. If someone have a knife at my throat, I don't condone violence, but and I know it's a life and death situation, I'm gonna fight and kick that person butt to save my butt.
There
So
you go.
there are times where you could use it to protect yourself and your family, loved ones, and so on. My way, how I the best way of me, how I could fight, I use my mouth because I could share a little story short, trying to make it short as possible. Because God always, I'm a very spiritual person. I'll be crazy, but I'm very spiritual. God always talks to me. I remember a time when I was going back to work and my phone was late and I was waiting for the shuttle to come pick me up to take me back to the hotel. And I saw two guys was crossing the street and I sensed something. I read something about they dress pretty decent and everything like that. But something my spirit told me just look at them, keep looking at them. Those two guys came up to me to rob me. And one of them said, my friend behind me, he has a gun. Hand over my phone. They wanted my iPhone. But it wasn't an iPhone. They didn't know. It was an iPod. He said his friend got a gun. Hand it over. What's going on there? So
I forgot that it does that.
yeah. So I was like saying I could take these two because I know martial arts. I know martial arts.
Ah,
I think I could take these two guys down. But then my voice said, Clint, no, you don't need violence. Your biggest weapon is your mouth. Use your mouth to fight. So what I did, I said, when the other guy behind told he's standing up behind him and they're waiting for me to hand over my phone. So I turned to them. I said, "You crazy?" I said, "If you want to attack me, you gotta attack the man above." And I walked off and I leave them there. Then I'm a person. I'm short fused too. Then they saw where I was about to jump into a taxi. They were like, "Yeah, you lucky. You jump in a taxi. We would fire some shots behind you." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Taxi driver, hold on there. I'm not going to let this fool get away with that." I take my backpack, rested in the taxi, and I said, "You guys want to see me advertise?" I said, "Okay, you just start something. You're going to see crazy." I went in the middle of the streets and I said, "Hey, everybody, come, 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 come. Watch these two delinquent, these assholes, these lazy bums, jackass. They don't want to work, but they want to rob people for what they work hard for. Watch them." And I said, "That one day he ever going to try to stick me up to rob you." They take off and they run. The one of them come up to me and he was like, "Boy, you mad? You boy, you don't know me." I said, "I don't know you." I said, "You don't know me." I came up to his face like that, and they run. And I pull a whole crowd, it's like a whole village just came and I was in the middle of it, and I just used my mouth and I fight them left, right, back, and center. So in some situations you don't need violence. You can fight with your mouth. Your mouth is your biggest weapon. And back to the cartoon, one of my favorite animation is The Little Mermaid. Why I said it's my favorite? There's a song that the Little Mermaid sing part of that world, and that song inspired me to go after my dream when I was a kid in Trinidad because it was impossible for me to get over here. It was so impossible because the part when she says in the song, "When it's my turn, wouldn't I love to explore the shore up above?" I felt what she was saying because there was no way for me to actually come over here, someone who could actually sponsor me to come over here to go after my dreams. And I listened to that song remained like an anthem for me, and it encouraged me to chase my dream, and nothing is impossible. And now here I am, living my dreams and going for it all the way.
and you have your hit show, the Trinidad Takeover, and I'm just waiting for the next
Yeah,
episode of
done.
that.
I done a couple of films already over here. Done commercials. I even get my dog to book commercials like twice. He booked commercials. Yeah, I'm living my dreams because God is good. Just keep believing.
But what about the next episode of the Trinidad Takeover, man? Your
I
audience is
I
chomping
have
at the
I
bit.
have a lot of editing to do. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so
Well,
so
you do
so.
know you have a professional editor right here, my friend.
Where is he? Oh,
I'd like
you
to have raw footage, and with that raw footage, I can make things happen.
okay? No, I'm a
So
person.
just know that
I
you
wouldn't want
always
to
have the
overwhelm
resources
you.
here.
I won't want to overwhelm you with all that work.
No, 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 no. This is my work. This show is my priority. This show is what I am putting my energy, my time, and my effort into. And pretty soon I'll be putting my time and energy and effort into changing diapers. So while I
Good.
still
All the
can,
best with that one.
I want to be able to put everything into making this the best weekly show possible. Now, like I said, I don't condone violence, and I think sometimes you can talk your way out of situations, but I think that there are a lot of people who talk and they say things because there are no consequences, especially online. Well,
Hmm.
in the real world, it's not like that. And there always will be consequences. And people just need to be aware of that what you say has consequences. And sometimes those consequences is a beatdown. We've seen enough videos of Karens going off. Now we've seen quite a few videos of Karens getting their comeuppance. So
The
yeah,
biggest excuse is it's freedom of speech. Yeah, we all are free to say what we want, but at the end, there's always consequences.
yeah, you always have consequences for anything that you say or do. And my favorite cartoon, and it will be my favorite cartoon
for the rest of my life. That cartoon is Dragon Ball Z. I love that show, Dragon
I
Ball
heard
Z.
people talk about it, but I have never looked at a single episode of. I tried to, and it never grabbed me for some reason.
I gotta tell you, man, there are just some shows that hit you at the right time because timing is everything.
Hmm.
But they hit you at the right time, and the next thing you know, man, that's all she wrote. You're gonna watch that show to the day you die. Like there's another show I love called. It's not animated, but I love this show called The Beverly Hillbillies. It's such a
The Beverly
old
what?
show. The Beverly Hillbillies. You got
Yeah, I remember that.
you
My
got
grand,
Jed
my,
Clampett. You got Ellie Mae. You got the old grandma. And you got Jethro Bodine. Man, I tell you, that show, I just really, really, I love what I love. And once I love it forever. It's like I can't help who I am. And love is love. And loving that Beverly Hillbillies. And then, of course, a lot of other shows that I don't want to go into because if I go into them, we won't be able to get to the next part of the show. We're still going to do our Bible bracket.
What is a show Bible? A show Bible is a document that outlines the characters, plots, settings, and themes of a television series. Writers pitch show Bibles to network executives and production companies in the hopes that it will produce a production agreement. Well, with the Clint Initiative podcast, we do streaming content, we do movies, we do music. So, for our productions, we have a Bible, and that Bible will be previewed here on the show.
Okay, and here's our Bible bracket for this week. We've got two new films that will duke it out. And when those films duke it out, even you, the audience, can comment. You can send us messages and we'll show it up on the screen. And you can use our rating system. Our rating system is whether it sticks, whether it needs work, or whether you want to forget about it. So, our two films competing this week, the first one is Seen No Evil. You can't see it, but that doesn't mean that ancient evil is not there. On my own part, I've never seen no evil, but I still know it exists. I know it persists. And sometimes you got to pull it out of the darkness, especially if you never want to see that evil again. Evil needs darkness to grow. And still, I've seen no evil because it's hiding. And we're going to get it in Seen No Evil. The next one is Child Care Nightmares. People who take care of those little kids, sometimes they wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night with a nightmare from the things that those kids do. It's all in good fun, but it's still nightmares. Those childhood nightmares. So now what we're going to do is we're going to discuss, and then we're going to make our choice, and then we're going to see the previous winners, and then we're going to have a winner this week. So what did you think of those two ideas, Clint? Anything
The,
stick for you?
the first one sticks with me. The other one could do a little more work. Child care nightmares. Because I'm more of a I like supernatural. I like horror movies and all that. And how I see no evil could work. You don't need to see evil. Evil don't come to you and present itself as ugly. Evil presents itself as pretty good, like the Bible said. Satan going to appear as an angel of light. So it got some, like for example, it got it have some people. They have a pretty face, really pretty face, and so on. But their heart could be so evil because the prettiness and everything, it hides who they are on the inside. And some you don't need to see evil. Sometimes you could smell it, you could feel
Yeah.
it, you could sense it. So the title "We've Seen No Evil," yeah, I can't see it, but I know it's there. I know it existed. I could sense it. I could feel it. I could smell it in that person with that pretty face. So I'm gonna go with "See No Evil."
Okay, and I got to tell you that one of the things that gave me the idea to come up with "Seeing No Evil" is that um, we constantly have people coming in and out of our lives, and as that happen, there are events and things that transpire, and you just know that there's no way that these things just happen.
Hmm.
Some people are sent into your life so that when things happen, you see no evil, but evil certainly was there.
Oh, I've dealt with a couple of people like that. In the end,
And
it
then you deal
it
with people in
manifests
your life.
itself.
Yeah, and then you deal with people in your life that's the other side. When they show up, they're that lifelong angel for you. Whenever
Mm.
things get rough, they're there to be that light that guides you through the darkness that the evil ones want to sink you into. So I think we know who a clear winner is, but before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show our previous winners. This is our Bible bracket for week 21. We have Cynthia, not another zombie. Next we have Maria Trout, the social media superstar. Then there's Straw, all about weaponized youth. John, Long, Love War, and Us Bosses. Happy, unintended consequences. Brave decision, she will not be denied. Just one, it just takes some time. I hate camping, campsite murders which happening at home. And then sisters, chosen family connection. Poolside conversations too hot for any boom. Holiday highs in peace. 9 cents, long hand. It's mine now. Let me miss you. Access the gunter. I'm that guy. Can't help it. I'm that guy. Misery and company. And this is good. And there's Ginger Vampire who's coming. Social skills. At least you're going to learn today. Dateline. Stage reading those 976 dates here. Been there, Dragonfly Nation, a musical love story, my story to tell. All too well. We know this all too well. Sometimes in this crazy world, I need something I can touch. What child is this? Only your child. Shelter in place. There are no safe places. The day after I left, payback is like, bitch, a little more fun. Let the music move you round and round and round and round, and some will hate you. It's unavoidable. Occupied, local, a commemoration, a reason. And those were our Bible bracket winners for week 21. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. You can comment now if you're watching. Let us know what you think. And now the winner for this week is Seen
Oh, evil.
No Evil. I seen no evil, but I know evil been lurking. Seen no evil. And that's our Bible bracket for this week. And before we go on with the show, I just wanted to let people know that Don't cost you nothing to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Go ahead. Subscribe. Don't cost you nothing. Yeah, to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Come on. Come on. Subscribe. Don't cost you nothing. Yeah, to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Go ahead. Subscribe, subscribe, don't cost you nothing. So hit that like and subscribe. Yeah, yeah. So hit that like and subscribe. Yeah, yeah. So just hit that like and subscribe. Righty then. I got to tell you, man, with just the two of us here, it's going to be a short show. But this is where we would have a moment from the sketch show. And actually, this is where I would show Jamel's jam, his basketball dreams. But of course, I had a few technical difficulties. So that's going to have to be next week. But next week, I'm also hoping that we can get Jamel and Janelle on the show. What did you think of that short little blurb that I sent you on Jamel and Janelle there, Clint?
I didn't finish reading it, but Jamel and Janelle, that's his cousin or something like that, meeting somewhere.
Right. He meets his cousin on the street and they have this conversation because Janelle is quite the character.
Okay.
It's a bit that me and Jamel, we were talking, and you know how when people, you meet them, they mispronounce your name, and then you come up with all these different stuff. And now that we have a space, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing my stand-up. I'd like to be able to go out and do my stand-up in front of an audience, but I'm going to let the people on the show be my audience, and I'm going to use our space for creating those stand-up moments. It's either going to be funny, it's either going to stick, it's going to need more work, or it's going to be forget about it. And the key to comedy is if it makes you laugh, it sticks, and if it don't make you laugh, it don't.
Some people say comedy in acting, they say comedy is the hardest. And to me, it never really seemed come across that way to me. I don't know why. They say in acting, comedy is harder than, dramatic roles and all that. Why do you think people say that?
When you're standing up in front of an audience.
Stand up, yes. But
that's what I'm talking about. When you're standing up.
I don't like public speaking, so no way I'm going to do that.
When you're standing up in front of an audience, and you, like I've written over 50 jokes, and I keep adding more every day. When you've spent that time working on those jokes, and you have them written, you have them prepared, you've practiced them, and you feel very confident that, okay, this is where I'm going to get a laugh. Okay, this is where I'm going to get a laugh. Okay, this is where I'm going to get a laugh. And then you go out there and you actually start your show. It's hard to know who's out there in the audience. So I have several things that I use to find out who's in my audience. A lot of times, because they don't have a lot of time, comedians like to jump out there and just start doing their material, not knowing who's in their audience. Well, one of the things I like to do is sing, as you can probably tell from doing the show. Mm-hmm. And whenever I do stand-up, no matter how much time I have, I like to do an improv song at the end of my set. So in order to do that, I like to get suggestions from the audience. And by getting suggestions from the audience, it gives me a feel for who's out there in the audience. So it gives me a feel for what joke to start off with. I get a few suggestions here and there. I get a feel for who the people are based on their suggestions. And then it gives me a direction to go with the jokes that I've already prepared. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But That's the hardest part of stand up is going out there cold turkey, not knowing your audience, not knowing what their backgrounds are, and just starting your material and
That's
them
why I
just not
heard
getting.
people who are like who doing like stand up comedy. Like you said, you gotta know your audience. Number one, you gotta have a material to deliver to what. Always be prepared in case someone have wanna heckle you in the crowd. You gotta have a material to fire back at him, he or her, whoever it may be, and all we have to do with your comedic timing. And once you like me, I come from a theater background. So when I'm on stage, I when I don't know my audience, I could feel my audience. I'll say something and I could feel the audience energy, and I get energy from the audience to actually deliver, so I could deliver what I need to deliver. I've never done stand up, but I've done like couple of like comedic monologues and all that and stuff. Monologues to me, acting is easier because I create an alter ego. So when I create that personality, that character, people could say whatever they want to me. I don't ever get embarrassed. You know.
Well, the one thing with plays versus stand up is that people know what they're going to get a lot of times with plays because a lot of plays that are produced are things that people are already familiar with, unless it's a completely original work.
Mm,
And then people come in with an expectation of being entertained. As long as you entertain them, and depending on the subject matter of the play, a lot of times they already know the subject matter of the play. I'm the type of comedian where I tell those stories about life and about those moments in life.
mm,
I'm not much of the kind of comedian that will talk about current events, unless of course people bring those up. And then of course I have many things I can say about current events, but if they lead me there, then I'll go there.
yeah, you could switch. You know how to switch it up.
Yeah, if they lead me there, I will certainly go there. Now, this is the part of the show where we would normally have our music update. Well, I'm in the process of negotiating contracts with the people who will be doing the music.
Nice.
And as you probably know, Clint, that's the toughest part of anything is to make sure that you have all your paperwork in order. Before we started in 2023, we had our paperwork in order. Now in 2024, I have new paperwork that I'm working on, and we're going to get that done as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, because I produce a show and do things in the background as well as things I do here, um, it's going to be nice when I get to do this next project, which is a project that grew out of a relationship I have with the creative community in Harrisburg. Occupy Local is a podcast that will be starting on the 17th of September, 2024. The Occupy Wall Street movement started in 2011. And the Occupy Wall Street movement lasted for 57 weeks and was worldwide. So on the 17th of September, a friend of mine, I'm helping him start a podcast commemorating Occupy Wall Street. It's going to be on the 17th, and it's going to be, I believe, at 6 p.m. But don't quote me on that. I have a promo video that I put together, and it's a way of commemorating the Occupy Wall Street movement. It will be a weekly podcast on Tuesdays,
Are they
and
referring to D Wall Street?
the Occupy Wall Street movement from 2011, the very first show, we're going to show a documentary that details everything that happened with Occupy Wall Street from
Wow.
the mouths of the people who actually organized it. Just think
Interesting.
about it.
Yeah. That is
They
something
they,
that, yeah,
they
that's a
took
piece of
over.
history I learned when I first got here. And the strange thing is, um, I didn't learn that piece of history from any Americans. This was a friend of mine's back from Trinidad. She who told me about Black Wall Street and everything
No,
and what
Occupy Wall Street.
occup. That's why I asked if it's about the Wall Street.
No, it's not about Black
Oh,
Wall
okay,
Street.
okay, okay. Well,
It
that's a
happened in
different topic all by
2011.
itself. So I need to know about that. Yeah.
Occupy Wall Street happened in 2011. There was a group of activists that took over Zuccotti Park in New York on
Oh,
Wall
okay.
Street. It's a park across from the Wall Street offices. And
Uh-huh.
they occupied it for over 57 weeks. And it became a worldwide movement. So, if you want to find out more about it, like my friend here, Clint, Occupy Local is coming on the 17th of September to commemorate the Occupy Wall Street movement that started on September 17th
Oh,
of 2011.
interesting. I would like to know more
September,
about that.
say again?
Yeah, I would like to know more about that. Very
So on
interesting.
September
Yeah.
of 2024, we're going to have that show. And just to give you a little taste, this is the promotional video that's going to be posted on our website.
Occupy Local, a beginning.
And that's me talking about Occupy.
Protest began.
But I wanted to give you a taste for what the Occupy movement was like.
We're focusing on everything, not just.
This is an interview that I did with Occupy Harrisburg as part of
we will determine
my
this podcast
show, First Person. And I wanted to show it to you. Normally, I would have done this behind the scenes. But let me go ahead and... So as you see...
Actually making decisions as a nation independent of them. Well, I've always been... I've been saying stuff
They were
like
camped
this
out
for many
on the
years,
steps of the Capitol in Harrisburg,
and our
because
government's corrupt,
Harrisburg
and
is the capital of
things are
Pennsylvania.
not what they seem.
And what I want to do is get to the part in the video where it actually shows those encampments that they had there. And
two-parters. We initially had a...
Okay,
listen to
so
the media. I talked to a
so I interviewed someone that was actually there doing the original Occupy Wall Street. So in the promotional video that we'll post, people will be able to watch that. And if they're interested, they can tell other people about it, and we can all gather on the 17th to get that lesson on our recent history and how it really is all about the people coming together. And when the people come together, they have an amazing amount of power, and they can make things change. I'm not going to tell you the reason why Occupy didn't work. You're going to have to tune in to watch the documentary to find out why Occupy didn't work. It could have worked, but it didn't work because the people weren't focused. But the way in which they weren't focused is compelling to watch. So now we come to the part of the show where we get a word. Not only is Cycle 4 Films a sponsor of what we do here on the program, our sponsor is also you, the audience. You have the opportunity to help us grow and be a better show, and to help us actually be able to do the productions that we're going to be doing. Cycle 4 Films is always going to be there to help what we do grow. But we have our Patreon initiative. Just search for the Clint Initiative podcast. We have our Coffee initiative, which is KO-FI.
And the GoFundMe initiative.
And we have the GoFundMe initiative as well. All of those things are there, and there are ways for people to support us. What is another way that they can support us, Clint?
Oh, they could also reach us at the clintpodcast@gmail.com.
Right. They can just go ahead and shoot us an email at any time. And I came up with this idea because when I first got to Minnesota, of course, I met Clint, and I would be driving my DoorDash and listening to Minnesota Public Radio. And while I was listening to Minnesota Public Radio, there was this guy on J.D. Steele of the Mill City Singers on there promoting what they do, which is their professional choir, where you're going to be a member of that choir by just showing up. So for what we do, we don't have auditions, but I just figured out how we can get people involved, Clint. How do you think I'm going to get people involved?
Well, they could reach us contact us at the Clint Podcast. Send us an email, clintpodcast@gmail.com. Say you want to be part of the damn show. You're gonna get an invite from this man right here, the bald guy with the glasses, and you're gonna come on our show and be part of our show. If we like you, we keep you. If we wouldn't hate you, but we might just make sure we put you on the wall and see if we can work on it.
Okay, and also one of the things I want to do is I want to build a creative community. That is the reason why I got the space that we're moving into. That is the reason why our mascot exists. Because we're now in our
Where
space.
did you find that dog? Where you find him? I want it.
Where did I find the dog? I'll tell you where I found that dog. I found that dog at our new home, which is also the home of Props Metropolis. Whatever props you need for anything you're doing, Props Metropolis is there for you, just like they will be there for us. And Clint, I'm going to announce it right now. But before I announce it, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and play the appropriate fanfare. Yeah, I like that. I like that music. It's so upbeat. We will not be holding auditions, but we will be having open calls. So we will put the word out for open calls. So on days like this, when we don't have our full complement of hosts, we'll be able to pull people in from our roster. And it's the same concept. The cameras will be rolling.
Nice.
We'll do our open call. You show up. And guess what? You're a part of the world that is the Clint Initiative and the Clint Initiative podcast. And you will be a part of our world.
Show up and show off.
What was that?
Show up and show off. Just show off. Show us what you got.
Show up, show off, show out. And with every open call, we will have a soul-trained dance line so that you can show off your dancing talents as well as just having a lot of fun. There'll be food,
I'll do
music,
mine's in a wheelchair.
and fun at the open calls of the Clint Initiative podcast. You know, auditions are stressful. Some of our productions are probably going to be very stressful. But what will never be stressful is just showing up and being a part of what we do at the Clint Initiative podcast. And I'm going to tell you that one of the really beautiful things that anyone who has contributed to our show get to be a part of is our founders in our inner circle. And how do you get to be a part of our founders in our inner circle? By contributing to the Clint Initiative podcast. Any contribution through the Patreon initiative, the Coffee initiative, or the GoFundMe initiative gives you an entry into our open calls, our productions, and everything we do. And you have a golden invitation to just drop us an email
And then once you drop us an email as one of our founders, our inner circle, you just show up and you can enjoy the fun and you'll have a front row seat. You'll be able to use our rating system and let people know whether it sticks, whether it needs work, or whether we can forget about it, retool, and help them grow and be more. So I believe that's really exciting news. And the exciting news is that we will be having open calls. And I'm determined to have those open calls before I will be leaving the country the 14th of October. And I will be broadcasting from the Philippines while everyone else will be here. And we will have our office set up so that if you didn't want to do it from home one day, Clint, you could just go into the office and broadcast from there. So I'll be running everything from behind the scenes. The camera will be there. The computer will be there. So that's a great thing. And with the open call, we'll have more people to call on so that we have more of a show. So, did you have a good time there, Clint?
I always have a good time when I'm here.
Did you notice, even with just the two of us, we still have a show?
Yep.
The
Yes,
show,
sure.
the show must go on, and the show goes on with whoever, ever shows up. And this is the part of the show as we start to wind down, where we get to have our final words. And I'm going to put you up on center stage, Clint. What are your final words?
I'm going to go deep and spiritual to you guys here, out here. Some of you guys need to hear it. I just want to let you all know, delight yourself in the Lord, and He shall give you the desires of your heart. Have a blessed day, everyone.
Absolutely. We can't forget that no matter how much people say, no, 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 no. It only takes one yes. We're working for that one yes. That one yes becomes two yeses. The two yeses become three, and then four, and so on and so forth. If you have something to offer, people will show up and they will show out. And that's what we will be doing next time on the Clint Initiative Podcast. Next time on the Clint Initiative Podcast, I'm hoping that we can get some par 365 rolling up in this place. A little bit of inside golf with that inside simulator. I love golf so much, man, that I'm going to make it happen. I wanted to make it happen this week, but as you can see, this week was not meant to be, but there's always next week. Either Thursday, Friday, or whenever we can, we're going to go play some golf. If you want to be a part of it, just go ahead. The QR code is on the screen for our Instagram at the Clint Initiative. Join our Instagram. Join the fun there, as well as joining us here on YouTube. Subscribe to what we do here, but know that we also have our Instagram. And if you want to do a podcast, if you want to do your own television program, we're here to help. Just like with the Occupy Local podcast starting on Tuesday. If you're ready and you just need that extra assistance, the Clint Initiative Podcast is here to help. And next week, I'm hoping to have the Minnesota Swim Week edit finished of everything I recorded that day at the Minnesota Swim Week. I'm hoping to be able to premiere that. And then there was a model showcase with Sammy B that Katie was a part of, and I'm hoping to have that finished as well. And I'll say again, Occupy Local, starting the 17th of September. Be there for the documentary of the Occupy Wall Street movement. And then every Tuesday until November. We will end in November so that people can concentrate on you know what. It's been another great show. Thank you, Clint, for being here so that I didn't have to do a solo adventure and tell people all of my jokes. So now, as the show comes to the end, I just want to tell everybody I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank Clint again for being here. And until next week, this has been the Clint Initiative Podcast. And Clint, tell me, where can people hear the Clint Initiative Podcast? Where are some of the places where they can hear?
Well, we're all over the place now. We are in iHeartRadio and them kind of place. We all over YouTube. We all over Instagram and things. So you can't get away from it. Those are some of the places where we are.
Yeah, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and coming soon to ROKU and
ROKU and FireTV.
Yep.
Wait, are we in iHeart? Are we in iHeart yet? Are we in iHeart?
We are on iHeart. We are on Spotify. We are everywhere. We're on Apple.
I didn't see it put up a little thing. We're on iHeart. Yeah.
We're on iHeart. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere. You want to listen to your podcast? We're there. We're there. We're there.
Everywhere, everything at once.
Everything, everywhere, all at once with the Clint Initiative Podcast. And with that, we are off the air.